You know, it's interesting. People don't think about this, but it's actually not that hard to kind of unpack and try to find your way. Even when somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm not in law enforcement anymore, whether it's a good reason or a bad reason, I'll say to them, like, if I was you and I didn't know where to go first, I would just go on like Indeed.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Just goof around.
Yep.
And I always tell people in life, your next step doesn't have to be your final step. It's like when you're 17. People are like, what are you going to do for a career? How the fuck do you know what you're going to do when you're 17? Outside of probably every cop knew they were going to be a cop when they were 17.
Right.
But outside of that, how do you know, right? Like, I mean, my story is an interesting one. I've literally worn many, many hats. I think I'll continue to wear many, many hats as I go on and progress. I couldn't predict what my story is going to be, and nobody really can predict what their story is going to be. And, you know, just that footstep forward, trying to find your way. So you go get a job, it pays you 60, right? You go do that. You don't like it, or another opportunity comes along. Maybe you shift, maybe take a pay decrease to go to something you like more. Maybe take a pay increase, go find something else. Maybe you find a job you didn't know existed. Just don't forget, nobody's bringing the jobs to you.
Correct.
You're not somebody.
100%.
So even another website's interesting is usajobs.gov. A lot of cops are comfortable with the government paying their salary. You know, if you go on usajobs.gov, there are civilian investigator jobs that probably pay $75,000, $80,000 a year.
Yep.
And with overtime, and there's a lot of stuff involved. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. And one thing I can tell you is just don't be afraid to take leaps of faith and find your way, man. And sometimes you might want to just even do things on your own.